Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another reaction video from Venza. Daniel Johnson from our Dutch office here in The Hague. Joining me from our U.S. Office in Roswell, Sean Shields. Say hello, Sean. He's running the show, making sure we get all the production work done. Thank you for being here. Well, we've got a couple friends that are going to give us their raw reaction to some news articles. And so I'll let them introduce themselves. So ladies first, Suzanne, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Great. Thank you, Daniel. Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Ward, and I work for Accor Hotels. I'm part of the IT department for the Middle East and Africa. So there are 39 brands now in Accor and over 5,000 hotels. So in that hospitality group, I'm part of the IT integration team that's responsible for bringing those hotels on board and making them part of the Accor IT environment.
Great to have you, Suzanne. Thank you so much. Daniel?
Welcome, everyone. I'm Daniel Zelling from the Hospitality Industry Club, which is an association of 35 tech providers throughout the world, organizing trade shows and hotel camps all around Europe. And the founder of Opensmijle, which is a storytelling agency for the hospitality industry, and the co-founder of TechTalk.Travel, which is an education platform.
So I don't know if our viewers are getting any kind of notion, but we've got some very important, busy people on the call. So thank you both for taking a few moments to give us your raw reaction to a news article. So without further ado, Sean, if you wouldn't mind sharing the article, and we'll kind of summarize it and get feedback. This is an article from Skift, so we often like to look at Skift and see what kind of news articles are out there. It is an article sort of to do with their new what they're calling the top boss of hospitality for Oracle, and outlining some of the steps that they're taking in order to continue to be an industry leader. And without getting into the details of what Oracle's plans are, my question for you is, well, basically his indication is that he wants to add functionality and distribution and customer relationship management. My question to you is are these two areas that you think that a large organization can do well, or is that something that these kinds of innovations, are they more prone to be coming out of smaller startups and innovative companies? What's your thought on that innovation from, not necessarily from Oracle, but from the large groups like that? Why don't we start with you, put you in the hot seat, Suzanne. What are your thoughts with regards to big innovations coming from big groups like the Oracles of the world?
Yes. Well, I guess it all boils down to the breadth of information that Oracle have access to. Of course, they have a huge organization and a huge amount of resources and access to all sorts of audiences. So something like this is going to be very interesting, I think, to see what they come up with. Certainly when we look at the industry and we see really, really exciting innovation coming from smaller companies, maybe they have the thirst or the ambition to get ahead because they're really fighting to succeed, whereas Oracle is already obviously established and very well known. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they approach this.
Daniel, what's your take on it?
That's obviously one of my preferred topics, right? So we can, I don't know if you have 1 hour or 2 hours time, but
no, we don't.
So, but you don't. Okay. So I don't know if you know, but I was one of the first guys within the CRS department back at Micros Fidelio in the head office in Europe, when Micros Fidelio acquired myfidelio.net. So I was actually walking through that experience in the past already with now Oracle Hospitality. And And a big topic back then, and now what we saw as well coming out of that, was that it's really hard for a company which is focused and concentrated on a different department, a different area, which is the PMS and point of sales and what have you, to look into CRS business, because it's a completely different type of business, although it's connected, but it's really hard to do both things at the same time on such a high level. And so if they want to tap into that, my recommendation would be go out there and buy one of the Sabres or the Travel Clicks or the SHRs or what have you, and bring in that expertise, not only from a developer point of view, but as well from a product and account manager and an interaction with customer point of view. Because if you don't have that experience and that know-how within your company, that's a hard path, and it's a hard thing to do. And back then as well, like, it's not that we did everything wrong or whatsoever, but we did our best to make it happen, and we were kind of successful as well in winning RFPs and what have you. But what we had in mind back then as a micro-Fidelio organization was to provide all services out of one hand. So as a Kempinski of this world or as an Accor of this world, you only had one partner for all your technology to talk to and to go to make it very easy from that point of view. What I personally, that's not a micro-Fidelio point of view most likely, but what I experienced personally was maybe it's better to have the best partner from that segment and the best partner from that segment and that partner from that segment, and make them interact, make them speak to each other, and make them integrate, and that's the most important part from each other. So let's say an Apoleo model, which we have, or a Muse model with their marketplaces, ideally API first, where they look into, okay, first of all, we need to make sure the quality of data that is exchanged is excellent, is 100%. I think that's maybe the way to go. If Oracle is capable of building something new, which is all within one solution, okay, perfect. If it works, I'm the biggest fan. But I think the path and the way to achieve that is really hard. And as a last thing to close it down, what we just read, and having Suzanne, I will not ask for a comment, Suzanne, but having Accor and Sabre building something together right now, which combines CRS and PMS, could be an interesting path and an interesting story for the upcoming months and years. But I'm curious to see it happen.
Yeah.
We might have to have another reaction video when there are more articles on that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. You're spot on, and Daniel, with some of your comments, especially because you didn't even have the luxury of reading this article, is because they do actually even mention Apoleo and Muse and some of these players. So yeah, it's an interesting time with regards to innovation. There's a thirst for innovation, but also there is ever more demanding need to make sure that there's no friction, and well, so civilization's built on division of labor, right? So having those that are really good at a certain area, let them do that, and so it's interesting to see what will develop. Well, we appreciate your candid thoughts and being willing to be put on the spot for a reaction video. Before we part, anything to say, Sean?
No, sir. I'm good, thanks.
Sean frequently says no comments for me, and then has something to say. So I thought maybe we'd. Well, very good. Thanks, everybody. See you at the next reaction video. Suzanne, Daniel, loved having you, and hope to have you back again.
Great. Thank you.
Great pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Everybody.
Bye.
Yep.